Orientation is locked. Hold on, y'all. Let me unorient my orientation. Get my little thing ready. I ain't been live in a long time. Hey, y'all. I would be surprised if nobody's here. Let me see. Can I give myself a pop of color? Is that cute? I gotta get myself all the way together. I ain't did this in a while. Okay, so I'm looking at the filters. Do they help? I don't know if they do. I don't know if they do, y'all. You know, nobody really has a good filter except for iTunes and Instagram. And this is falling. Why is it falling? Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm gonna figure this out if it's the last thing I do. I gotta put me first. YouTube, I gotta put me first. Okay, let me put this in front. Okay, I think I did it. But let me go back to regular. No filter, beam, blush, pop. I think I'm gonna stay with the pop of color. I hope it's the way it's supposed to be. I don't think it is, y'all. Can y'all see me like this or can y'all see me like this? Not me knowing how to do stuff. I'm pretty sure y'all are seeing it the right way. Okay, how do I do comments? Some comments. Okay. Welcome to live chat. Hello, live chat. YouTube is telling me welcome, y'all. I just really hope y'all can see me the right way. Anyway, let's get started. This is like a get ready with me chit chat about stuff I've been ranting about on my Instagram stories, but I'm still gonna do my little get ready with me thing. So even though y'all don't care, I'm about to put a wig on, which I think I have it here. Actually, I'll put it on real quick so y'all can see, but I don't like putting makeup on with my wig on. But I will tell y'all, I will link this wig in the comments. This has been my favorite wig this fall. I don't have a comb with me on over here, but it's a glueless. What is it called when you just put on? Yeah, glueless, no trouble, no fluff, no combs, no problems, no drama. I feel like right now it just looks bad because I'm not styling it and I have no makeup on. It just looks crazy. But when I tell you, go look at my community tab and there's cute pictures. It also needs to be curled a little bit. But get a little comb in this. Y'all see the vision? Y'all see the vision? It's cute, trust me. But I don't like doing makeup with wigs on, so I'm gonna take it off. See how easy? I love a glueless wig. I don't use wigs unless they are, glueless, no comb, no tension. So anyway, let's do this. Get ready with me. I'm just using a regular schmegular, no fragrance, lanolin, parabens, poisonous stuff. And I always put a little tiny bit of almond oil in my moisturizer for the winter because, you know. Oh, I should have tweezed first. So today I want to talk about something that I talked about in my stories, and that's basically the idea of men not really understanding why we're women, why we're sick of them, why we don't like them anymore, why they get on our last nerve, why we don't want to date them. Well, the statistics are showing that less and less women are interested in dating at the exact same time that more and more men are interested in dating. Hold on, let me grab my towel. And I was sharing some of my own stories as of late with what's been going on with me with just dating and men and all of that stuff. So I just want to talk about it here. Thought it would be a nice little get ready with me topic. But basically, I had something recently happen that was just like crazy sauce with a dude. Um, and how can I sum it up briefly because it was crazy. Real quick, I'm going to use some Pixi H2O skin tint. If I could have, I would get this a little darker. This is in nude. This is basically my actual super white, winter white skin tone right now. Which, by the way, if you're new here, I'm actually biracial. I have black in me. My dad is black. But in the winter especially, look at my hands. I am just winter white. Anyway, so as you can see the skin tone I'm putting on, It's just barely, well, if you can see in person, it's just barely getting rid of red spots. So note to self, if you're my color, if you're the yellow shade that I am, get a darker color than nude. But I do want to show y'all something I'm really liking lately. L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. That does say Glotion. Glow Enhancer. Wait till you see this though. Anyway, back to the topic. So I had this situation. Look how dark that is. But you're going to see it's going to give me a nice little winter bronze. A nice little fake tan for the day. This does not stay on all day. See how instantly it bronzed up my face? You can't maybe tell, but it did. It gave me a little tiny amount of fake melanin for the day. So that I don't have to be Casper. But anyway, so I had this situation. I'm going to tell y'all the story because I've told it in TikTok and other places, but I might as well just tell it here. So I started talking to a guy that I match with on Facebook dating, and he seems like he's a normal, really nice guy, like actual really nice guy, like a lot of good things going for him. When I told my friends, they were like, dang, like, wow, like your patience on Facebook dating has finally paid off. Like maybe you actually finally met a nice guy. I'm like, I know, like who seems like he's not just a nice guy, but like actually has his stuff together. I'm like, okay. So automatically though, I was a little put off within a day or two of meeting him because he just wanted to talk a lot. And it actually worked at first for us for the first 2 or 3 days where we talked like an hour or two the first day, an hour or 2 or 3 hours the next day, and then like an hour the next day. That only worked because it was Thanksgiving break. And my daughter was my young daughter, who was 7, who does not generally allow me to talk on the phone that long because I just have too many responsibilities with her and my other 2 kids. It worked because she was out of town for Thanksgiving weekend. So, but I did tell him like, hey, I'm not going to be able to talk as much like once Thanksgiving break is over and we go back to like quote unquote real life. Anyway, long story short, within 3 or 4 days, I could tell that he was just really unhappy with the arrangement of not being able to talk as much. And I was just like, and I actually pushed back on that with him. And he kind of made it seem like almost like I was doing the most for not wanting to talk to him as often, which I felt like that's weird. It's off-putting. Like if it were me, and it has happened with me, where there's men I've dated and I've wanted to talk to them or text with them more, if they've said, hey, I'm just not available, I'm not going to argue with them. Like who does that? I just thought it was really weird. Like he was like, yeah, I gotta schedule it in to talk to you. And he just, if you make a 1 or 2 jokes about that, okay, fine. But it wasn't just 1 or 2 jokes. It was several times he made it known he's unhappy that we're not communicating more. And I'm like, bro, we just met 4 days ago. What are you talking about? So that was a little red flaggish, but there were so many other good things, y'all. You know how sometimes how it goes with men, you're like, okay, this could whatever. So on the 4th or 5th day, he brought us something about wanting to be sexually exclusive. Now let me just say, we hadn't met in person, so there was no sex happening. So for him to suggest that me and him be sexually exclusive without even us having sex yet, I was like, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's doing the most. So that was kind of off-putting too. And I told him like, I'm not interested in sexual exclusivity outside of like coupledom exclusivity. Okay. So, so if we're not exclusive in a relationship, but either way, none of that is happening within 3 months. And he was like, oh, I got patience. I got patience. Like I will be so patient. So I was like, okay, you're gonna be patient because I'm not gonna be rushed. Like I've been through too much with too many men trying to rush me. And that's, if you know my story, if you've been here on my channel before, that's how I got into a narcissistically abusive marriage, because I let someone love bomb me and rush me. And I had brought that up to him and he was like, no, I'm never gonna love bomb you, blah, blah, blah. Even though he really was. He was saying lots of future fakey stuff. And he was like, what if it's not future faking? What if I really mean that? I'm trying to get this to go up, but I think it might be gone, but oh well. So I was like, well, time will tell, but I'm just telling you, you're doing too much. Like, let's not talk about the future. I told him 3 separate times, I don't really want to talk about the future. Let's just focus on right now. Like, let's just focus on our friendship. Let's just focus on growing on friendship right now and not talk about the future. Because he had brought up that he was going to build me a house, which is, a pretty significant thing to say to someone, that he was going to take my daughter to school. And when he came back, he would make me breakfast, all those things that men think women want to hear, but even, I don't know. I don't know him enough to know if he would ever done that stuff, but either way, it's off-putting. It's off-putting, and it works with some women, but it shouldn't, because we should know like that kind of stuff is love bombing behavior. And I did, and it made me uncomfortable. And instead of being like, uh, when I explained this to him, instead of being understanding of that, like, oh yeah, I can understand you. You've been tricked by a narcissist before, so let me just scale back. Instead of that, he just went into this whole defense mode of like trying to defend himself and why he said what he said. And I was just like, bro, like just back up. And y'all, this is still all within 5 days of us knowing each other. So there's really just no place for that. So then on the fifth day of us knowing each other, again, still haven't met yet. We're planning to meet in the future because like I did like him. I did really enjoy talking to him and stuff. It's just that this stuff was off-putting. But on the fifth day, he didn't message me all day, which he usually did. So I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he just wrote back, "Did you did you change your Facebook?" I'm sorry, this is so funny to me. "Did you change your Facebook dating pictures?" I'm like, "What? No." And he's like, "I just want to know if you're still looking. I just want to know if you're still looking or not." I was like, "Bro, oh my God, you are doing the most. You are really doing the most." And so I said, "I haven't changed them. Like maybe I changed them after you and I matched, but no, I haven't changed them." Um, Let me just see if I can see comments. Um, if anybody's commenting, just know I don't know what I'm doing. I can't see them. I don't even know who's here. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, so so I said, yeah, I may have changed them after me matched, but no, I have not changed them since we matched, or since we me and you started chatting. And I was like, why? And he's like, I just want to know if you're recruiting, because if you're still recruiting, because when I date, I like to just focus on one person at a time. And I was like, well, that doesn't surprise me because that's what benefits men, but that doesn't benefit women to do that. And additionally, like women tend to get more attached. And so, um, especially after we've had sex with someone, so it's better for us to not close ourselves off to options. Like basically, I believe women should play the field like in a respectful, kind way. I'm not talking about using men. Until the best one wins, you know? And he was just like, well, I'm just really not comfortable with you seeing or sleeping with other people we're talking. And I was like, we just started talking last week. It ain't even been a week yet. So I was just like, he's really showing controlling like jealousy that no woman wants to deal with. Like most men will hide that stuff so that you get roped in first. Like he didn't even let me get roped in first before he started showing like that kind of toxicity. Why am I getting recommended for this? I don't want this. I don't know, boo. I'm sorry. But you can say for the story there's some tea here, Rex. Rex 7. It's a story about toxic dating. But I'm sorry you got recommended. I have no idea. That's blame it on YouTube, not me. So anyway, so yeah. So on the sixth day or the seventh day of us knowing each other, I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this with him. I don't want this. This seems like a lot of drama. And so so I left him a voice clip, and I said on the voice clip, "Hey, I am very sorry, but I just I'm not interested." And I told him the truth, which is I did not feel like a good connection to me. And I also told him the truth that I thought he resembled my father. And that really made him mad. That was not my fault. What the toxicity for real. So I did tell him the truth about that. And I gave him about an hour, and I was like, I'm probably gonna block him because I knew he was gonna want to have a conversation with me. I knew it, y'all. I knew it in my soul. This is why we really need to listen to our gut. I knew he was gonna want to have a conversation with me, and I did not want to because I knew he was gonna argue with me. I knew it. Okay. And so after about an hour, he didn't text back. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna block. And I was like, it's not ideal. I don't love to block, but I did leave him the kind message, the very kind voice clip. So I blocked. And so I didn't realize this till later. I didn't realize this actually till 2 days ago, and this was like 5 days ago or so. But he had right away texted me, and he said on the text message, "Hey, I really want to talk about this with you. Can we please talk about this? I really want to talk about this." So, because the only reason I got it after I blocked him is because I have Apple products, so it still comes through on my MacBook, but not on the phone. So the message still came through on my MacBook. And then he immediately went to voicemail. And again, I didn't know this. He immediately went to my voicemail and left me two really mean messages. I didn't know. And it was just like, I wish I had saved them. But the other day I was like, I'm just going to get rid of this stuff. Women, women avoid, yes. So I was like, I'm just going to get rid of, I'm going to get rid of these voicemails. I don't want to see them anymore. And uh so I deleted them. But basically, he just went off on me like, I can't believe you blocked me. Congratulations, you're the worst woman I've ever met in my whole life. He just went off on me. Again, I didn't hear these until like 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, brother. So much for like, I just want to talk to you. I promise I won't argue with you. I just want to talk. Well, anyway, so he left that while he was blocked. And then later, this is the point I want to get to. Then later, of course, he calls me from a different number, which I just really think once someone blocks you, doesn't matter if you don't like it or not, men or women, this is the truth for everyone. If someone blocks you, leave them alone. That's them setting a boundary. I don't want to talk to you. If they block you, the boundary is, I just don't want to talk to you. You can think they're an asshole, you can think it's horrible, you can think they're wrong, but they just don't want to talk to you no more. And I just really think within 7 days or 6 days of knowing somebody, like, it's perfectly fine to block someone, even without explanation. Even though I thought I was being nice by giving him an explanation. So he calls me from a different number. So I talked to him, and the first thing he says is like, "Why did you block me? Why did you block me?" He like went right in right away, and I was like it took me a minute to even know who he was because I would fallen asleep. I was taking a nap, and when he called from a different number. And I thought it was actually someone else. I didn't know it was him, and I didn't recognize the number, and it wasn't a number from his area code either. It was a different number. All that to say, I didn't know who it was, and I was so disoriented. I was like, and so while I'm saying, and waking up, he's like, "Why did you block me? Why did you do that? You're a horrible person for blocking me." And I'm like, "Oh, it's him." Y'all. And then he proceeded to go off on me for the next hour and 11 minutes. Before anyone says, "Why did you listen to him for 11 hour and 11 minutes?" Um, there's a lot of reasons. I do think in hindsight that was a terrible choice. I should not have listened to him at all. I should not have entertained it, should not have engaged it. I should have just been like, "Hey, I blocked you for a reason." But he started off right away with, "You're a terrible person. You're a shitty person. I thought you were such a wonderful woman, and now I realize you're not." And I started defending myself. And that's how I got roped in. Because I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, I left you a voice clip. I told you it wasn't working." And then he was like, "Don't." He was like, "Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me." Yeah, he was really losing it. And he was like, "Is it about someone else?" I'm like, "No, I literally told you. Like, I don't think we're a good match. I don't think it's a good match. I told you I thought you were moving too fast. I told you I thought you looked like my dad, and that was problematic because my dad is my, was my abuser for many years." And he was like, "Man, fuck your dad." I was like, oh my God. And so then he starts going in about like, "You don't know what he literally, without taking a breath, for like, I would say 12, 15 minutes, like a good long time. This is when I should have hung up on him. He goes in about, "You don't know what I was gonna do for you. I was gonna do this for you. One call and I was gonna get your podcast blown up. I was gonna I was gonna buy you a house. I was gonna build you a house. I was gonna take care of your kids. I was gonna be sure your feet didn't hit the ground. I was gonna be sure that, I mean, he was saying again all the things that a woman wants to hear, but not in a week. Again, like, maybe the me who married the narcissist would have fallen for that, but men who are leading with that kind of big elaborate promises, it's called future faking, and it should give any woman a red flag, and it did. It gave me a red flag. And so when he was saying it, now that he's angry at me, he was like, "I just want you to know all this stuff. You want to know why? I want you to know because I want you to know what you lost when you miss me later." And I'm thinking like, what would make you think that I would miss you when I don't even know you, and we've only met a week ago and you're already yelling at me, screaming at me, swearing at me, telling I'm a shitty person. not even really seeking to understand. He didn't even really give me a moment. And so then he did ask some questions. And when I told him, like, yeah, there's some things that you said and did, he gaslit me. And it was really weird because it was about stuff that we had talked about and texted about recently. So I told him, like, that because we were going to meet. When I told him when we met, I didn't want to have sex with him because I was like, I'm just not doing that, not that soon, because we were going to meet. Actually, we were supposed to meet tomorrow, actually. So I was just like, yeah. And so he was like, and I can't believe you told me you weren't going to have sex with me after I'm paying for our hotel and I'm paying for this whole trip, and I was going to spoil you the whole time, and I was going to take you to whatever that long mall is in Chicago, downtown Chicago, Magnificent Mall. I was going to take you to Mississippi and spoil you and all this stuff. And I was like, that, just so you were clear, none of that requires me to have sex with you, number one. Number two, also, I did not ask for you to spoil me. I didn't ask. He's like, well, you did ask me to pay for the hotel. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but that still does not mean. And so he just went off on what a horrible person I was for not being willing to have sex with him, which is another thing that's just like, I literally can't believe he's saying this out loud. I can't believe he had the audacity to say that out loud. I don't know. I was just like, wow. So, so then it just got worse from there, y'all. It literally just got worse. But there was one point. This is the part I want to share with you. There was one point where he was like, I just want to know the reason why, Grace. Tell me the reason why. So I was like, I told you all the reasons why. I told you all the reasons why, probably 3 times now, and you just literally don't want to. You just don't want to accept it. And so so I told him again because he just, for whatever reason, couldn't compute in his mind that I just still didn't want him. So he said, why? Why wouldn't you choose me? Why don't you want me? What more do you want in a man? What more could you possibly want in a man than a man who would do all this for you and do all that for you? And some reason these comments are sideways. I'm sorry. And so I was like, because you're on the you're operating under the assumption that I want a man to buy and build me a home, that I want a man who's going to spoil me with all of these physical things, which, yes, of course I would love it, but my value system is that we actually connect in a way that's more meaningful. Like, I'm not just trying to use a man. Like, yeah, if I were just out here trying to use a man, that would be great. All of that would be great, but that's not what I'm looking for at this time in my life. I don't want to use a man for money. It's not who I am. It's not who I've ever been. It's not who I enjoy being. I've actually really never done that ever. Not even to men I was married to. So if I didn't use the men I was married to, if I didn't try to take my ex-husbands for everything they got, why would I do that with some random person I have no investment in? I mean, I know there's women out there who do that. I really think it's a waste of time and energy, but I don't want to spend time arguing with women about that because it's just dumb. Do you, boo boo? Do you? But he was just so surprised that I wasn't. So I was like, yeah, I don't need need that stuff from you. Like, it's 2023, not 2013. Like, I don't need you to buy my own home. I don't need you to be able to provide for myself. Yes, it would be nice. I would love some man who I love, who loves me, to come around and spoil me. But the point is, he was saying this, why don't you choose me? And y'all, we were on FaceTime. So, like, the tone of his voice, the look on his face, the way he was kind of begging, it was like this little boy tantrum, like this little inner child in him that's having a tantrum. And I was just like, this is what a lot of men are saying right now. They're not saying it as clearly as him. Like, at least he was somewhat honest, like he was forthright. Like, I want to be chosen. I have all these things to offer. But when he said, like, what else could you possibly want in a man? And I was just thinking, this is such a powerful example of what, like, a lot of men are thinking, because they literally don't know what a lot of women want. So if you haven't seen the statistics, actually, maybe if I can remember, I know I always say I'll link stuff and I forget, but if you haven't seen the statistics, there's actually this recent TikToker who she showed she showed the statistics about how basically more and more men are wanting to be in relationships and more women are moving against it. And the primary reason that she said in all these statistics that, she put it all together, was that women are finding more and more that they just can't find men that they like. They just like being around, or men who even add to their lives. And it wasn't even talking about financially. Because I think some of us, a lot of us, like I feel like I can and have several times found men who can add to my life financially, but then do I actually like them as people? Are they actually even nice to me? Like that guy? Yeah, he was nice to me for 5 days until he couldn't get what he wanted, until he realized he wasn't going to get to sleep with me within 10 days. Like, what? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's just insane. It's just insane. So I felt like he's an example of like men who are doing this nowadays. Like they're literally just clamoring, not able to figure out what is it that women actually want from them. We want emotional intelligence. I think that's my deduction, is that we want emotional intelligence. Real quick, let me just show y'all. This is a side note, but I love this. I just got this recently. It's a Pixie On the Glow blush tinted moisturizer stick. But look at this. See how dark this is? You think what it's going to do to my face? Just watch. I know what you think is going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just watch. See? It's just like a little teeny tiny bit of, like, right in the right place. It just gives you a little bit of color without an obnoxious amount. And then it just needs to be blended in a tiny bit. See all that color payoff, but not like a dark color payoff? I have to get that in like every color. Well, no, I'm not going to. I'll probably get like 2 more colors, but look at that. Can you guys tell? I love it so much. I love it. I'm happy. And it made so much of my face pink, like all at once. Like I love how wide it is. I just love this. Anyway, if I can remember, I will link this too. With my link for getting behind. I always say I'm gonna link something. I think I'll just make it my practice, because I'm going to come on YouTube live more. I want to grow my YouTube community. So if you're here or if you're watching later, thank you for being here. I really am going to try to grow my YouTube community for real, for real, for real, and post more to YouTube. My goal is to do one live, like maybe 3 times a week or so, and then one long form video once a week, and then also my podcast, which is a long form video 1 time a week. Okay, this side is looking a little pink, but I mean, don't worry, I still have powder to do. Anyway, so yeah, so so she was saying, I'm going back to this woman who was talking about this issue with men, and how they literally don't know what they don't know. And I was literally ranting on my stories today about this, because I felt like what was happening with him and what's happened with other men who I have dated and or talked to is just this complete inability to relate with me on a level that makes any sense. So I'll give you an example. There was a guy who asked me if I hated men, and I was like, no, I don't hate men. I don't hate men at all. I still love y'all. If I didn't still have a place, if I didn't have some little tiny bit of love for y'all, I wouldn't be able to still date y'all. I mean, maybe I could, but for me, just to be honest, I'll be honest. No, I don't hate y'all. I don't hate men. I don't hate men. I'm angry at men. I'm angry at men for their violence. I'm angry at how men treat women. I'm angry. Yeah, but a lot of women are angry. It's just repressed, and a lot of women don't have the space like me to be able to say this stuff out loud and rant out loud, because they got jobs that will fire them if they do, and I don't have that. So I can say whatever I want without worrying about being fired. So that's one thing. I don't have, I'm my own boss. I am my own boss. So I can say all this stuff about men. I can talk about my anger at Mayo people, and can't nobody fire me. And I can't really get canceled because I don't have enough of a following to get canceled. So I'm in an ideal place, to be honest, about stuff that women want to say that they're not, a lot of women aren't saying in a public space, I should say. But he was like, why do you hate women? Or how you said, why do you hate men? And I think the issue is, y'all, is that if a man asks you, why do you hate men? If a man even dares to ask you that, seriously, if he asks you that, he's already lost. He's already, with me, I'll just say with me, he's already lost. Like, he's done for already, because I feel like if you were a man who had any sort of idea, any sort of emotional intelligence of what's happened in the world for literally all of human history, you wouldn't even ask me that. That would kind of be like someone coming up to a Black American and being like, why do you hate Mayo Americans? And I'm only not saying the word because platforms don't like you to talk about Mayo people. Okay, they just don't. They don't like it. So you are not allowed to critique what's happened in this country. So, um, but can you imagine? So, like, if a white person came up to me, oops, I said it anyway, and said to me, "Why do you hate the other?" You know, I'd be like, "Have you read a history book at all? Like, are you aware of anything that happened in this country in any iteration at all?" And I think that's what it is with men. Like, when men are coming to women asking that question, I'm just like, what is your awareness level of the fact that men are the most violent gender? Like, do you have an awareness level, or do you not have any awareness whatsoever at all? And so this is what I think. I think that sadly enough, I think men are coming to women and they want to process this with women. They want to figure out, like, what can I do to be better? How can I love my wife better? Or I've already demolished and caused a divorce and with one or two women, or I have daughters, I have teenage daughters, and I really want to, protect them. I really want to help them, or I just want to treat them better, or whatever. And the men are wanting, some women, men are wanting to do better, but they want to do it with women. They want to do it within the context of relationships. So they want us to be their sounding board or their kicking board or their beating board while they figure out how to love women. Some of them, this is the ones who even care. This is the one who even care. Like, some of the men who have wound up in my DMs asking me what they can do to be better men or how they can be my man or whatever. They want to do it with us. And there's a part of me, oops, I put that in the wrong place. There's a part of me that's like, I feel kind of bad for them, a little bad for them, but not much, because y'all, the truth is, men need to be in each other's DMs. Men need to be in each other's DMs asking themselves, what are we doing here that we could do better? Why is it that women don't like us anymore? Why is it they don't want us anymore? What are we doing wrong? So yeah. So when a man shows up in my inbox, I'm like, are you gonna pay me though? Like, are you gonna pay me? $100 an hour or whatever it is, whatever the going rate is, to educate you, because I'm not willing to do emotional labor for you. Like, you want me to do emotional labor to teach you how to be a better man? Or you want me, just like I did with my ex-husband, like I became his literal, like, emotional punching bag while he was trying to heal from being highly, highly narcissistic. And that it almost killed me trying to love him and heal him through his own trauma. And so I myself am very, 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 very committed to never trying to rehabilitate a man. There's like this popular meme, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where Julia Roberts says, like, women are not put here on earth to be men's rehabilitation clinics. And I really feel like, sadly enough, we are socialized that way. We're socialized, we're taught, help these men, love your dad, love your brothers, love your uncles, love the men that you love the men that love you back. And without actually ever thinking, like, is loving these men who you love in your family or whoever, or your husband, is it harming you? And if it's harming you, then stop. Even if you're married to them. And that's what happened to me in a narcissistically abusive marriage, where I was married to someone where literally trying to love him was not just harming me, it was killing me. It was traumatizing me. It was making me ill. It was making my hair fall out. It was making me sick. Okay. And so that's where I get really passionate about this, because I feel like men nowadays are on this, like, super lazy tip. They want women, they want girlfriends, they want wives. I just got this new blusher. Which one should I use? I've never tried any of them. Let's try this super pinky, pinky, pinky one with a little bit of glitter in it. I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, okay. That's not super pink. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, well. Oh, it was super pink. uh, anyway, let me see if I can get this off. Because you know what? Not everybody is Meredith Duxbury. She be wearing the pinkest cheeks in the world, but it looks really cute on her. And I'm just not her, nor am I a professional makeup artist. Oh my gosh, y'all, look what I did to my cheek. Why? Anyway, so y'all get my point. we should not love people to the point of harming ourselves. That's not love. Love doesn't also not require that. If someone tells you they love you, they do not require them to love you back to the point that is actually hurtful to you and harmful to you. Oh my gosh, maybe I could cover this up. Um and oh, another point here, another big major point is that men are clamoring, not only are they clamoring to try to figure this out with women, which is completely inappropriate and requiring more emotional labor of us. Okay, I'm just covering it with white powder because that was just way that was doing the absolute most. Not only that, but they want to be married. They want to be married. They want to be girlfriend. They want girlfriends. Literally, this guy who I was telling you about, this toxic man, he said to me so many times, and I told you I only talked to him for 6 days. He said to me so many times, I'm better in a relationship. I really want to be in a relationship. I miss being in a relationship. I was better as a husband than I am single. Da 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 da. I know. I just saw a post that my ex-husband put up the other day. One of them, he put up like, "Oh, I can't wait to be married again," or something like that. And I was just like, "You didn't have to blow it with me, but okay." And then I know for sure that at some point, my boy's dad, my first ex-husband, I know that he wants to be married again. I know that three of the guys who I stopped talking to this year because I just wasn't interested in them want to be married. And I know that for the majority of my single girlfriends, including myself, we don't give a fuck. We could be married, not married. We don't care. If we find someone absolutely wonderful who adds to our life, that would be amazing. But we just don't care. We don't have to be. We can just enjoy our lives. We can enjoy thriving relationships with our children. We can make way more money without them. Um, and we just don't care to be married. And so, like right now, we have kind of a leg up on men. Also, if you look at the stats of dating apps, like there's 3 times more men than there are women on dating apps. So we kind of have our pick of the litter, y'all. And the litter is so unfortunately awful. Yeah. So when he was railing, "Why didn't you choose me?" My first thought, and I didn't say this to him because I was not trying to be mean, and I'm not an asshole. Just so you know, I'm not an asshole. I'm not mean to men purposefully. I don't try to make men feel stupid. I don't do mean things. I'm not a mean person. There's one thing I'm not. I'm not a mean person, and I don't ever want to hurt anybody. But my first thought is like, you don't have what I want or what I need, and I don't have to. I don't have to choose you. Like, go be a better person. Go be a better person. He also said to me, I can have the pick of my litter in my town. I could fuck anybody in my town, but I wanted you, you know? And you don't want me. He also promised me that he was going to, moving forward, he was going to be an asshole to all women moving forward because of me. Y'all, can you imagine? Can you even imagine? Like, that's so toxic. That's so toxic. That's so toxic that he's promising to be a toxic man to other women moving forward, and he's blaming me for that. Like, can you imagine if somebody said to him, like, "Why are you toxic to women?" "Oh, because I talked to this woman named Grace for 6 days. She wasn't interested, and she left me a really kind voice note that she wasn't interested, and then she blocked me. I called her from a different number. She called me back." Yes, I did. I actually called him back and listened to him rant for an hour. And so, yeah, I decided that I want to be toxic to all women after her. And it's her fault. And he really thinks that makes sense. This is what we're choosing from. This is the dating field that we're choosing from. It's so sad. It's almost just too sad for words, y'all. It's too sad for words. I literally couldn't believe, because I haven't come up, honestly, I haven't come across a man as toxic as him in such a long time that it was kind of a shock. I was like, wow, I haven't experienced like this level of toxicity in a long time. Like, this is crazy. This man just went absolutely crazy. Um, there's so many narcissistic traits I could break down, but like gaslighting is definitely one of the ones he was doing for sure. And the whole devaluation thing, like that whole, I could fuck any woman in my town, but I wanted you, and now it just shows me like how off I was because you're such a shitty person. Honestly, it didn't even hurt my feelings because it was so wild. You know how sometimes people say stuff that's hurtful and you might be like, dang, that stings. And it's just because there's an element of truth to it. But what he was saying was so ridiculous that it didn't even hurt my feelings. I was just like, wow, he is breaking down. He is breaking down. Okay, so I'm not going to use lipstick today. I'm just going to use this NYX Fat Lip Drip Oil. It's just like a brownish lip gloss, basically. So I was going to put on my Falscara on camera, but I have a really hard time focusing when I put these on, like a really hard time. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And usually I use, by the way, if you've ever been on my Get Ready With Me lives, usually I use these. These are from Amazon. But I still use like the Falscara Bonding Sealing because I really like it. But I wanted to get this because this has the remover and the overnight. And I was like, I want to try to wear these overnight. So I'm going to just try these until they're gone. Then I'll go back to my trusty. But anyway, so I'm curious about your thoughts about this whole issue. And if you're a woman, what are your thoughts about it? I think the only thing I can say is just that I'm tired. I think we're all tired. We're all just tired. We're like, I'm just so tired of dealing with these men. But I have not given up. I have not given up yet on dating. I haven't given up on cis het men, which is basically straight heterosexual men. That's still who I'm attracted to, unfortunately. If I could switch to women, I would maybe switch. But right now there is actually a cis het man I actually really do like. And give it a shot. But if this situation don't work out, I might be done dating for years. This situation, if that don't, it might put me on a whole other trajectory for years, y'all. I wonder if I can put these lashes on while the wig is on. You know what? No. I think I'm just going to end here. Thank you so much for watching. I will come back, and by the time I get done with these lashes, get cute, have a little cute outfit on, I always put the after photo as the thumbnail later on. So if you want to see the final look from today, I'll probably put the Julia Roberts quote on the cover as well. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will be back for these lives, y'all, because we're going to grow this community to women, Black women in particular, who just need this kind of content, need someone to say this kind of stuff. I'm going to be here. Anyway, bye, y'all. Love you.